Hi everyone. Once again, my name is Timothy. This is the follow-up video session of the class we had yesterday on introduction to the Go programming language. So in this video, I'll be helping you get started in on your journey to becoming a Go programmer. So basically, what I'll be doing here today is I'll start with answering one question I missed yesterday during the class. So after that, I'll talk to you about some special features of Go that makes it a bit different from other programming languages that you probably already know or have heard about. So I decided to do this because I got a lot of questions yesterday about the differences in Go that makes it maybe different, I guess. So I'll shed a little light on this and hopefully um, it will make that a bit clearer to you guys. So after that, I'll go ahead and install Go on a machine. If you're on a Mac, on a Windows, on a Linux machine, I'll show you how to go about installing it on your computer. Once we are done with that, we will install a code editor. That is, if you have not done that already. So after we do that, we'll write a very basic Go code. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible. So in case you get the feeling that I'm rushing things, don't worry. You can always pause the video and you know rewatch the part that was not clear to you, or you can send me a message on Slack. I'll try my best to respond as soon as I can. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so before we start, the icon is on your screen is called a gopher. So this is basically um, a icon that Go is known with, right? So yeah, Gopher. Go programmers also call themselves Gopher. So you could see workspaces, Slack workspaces that call themselves Gophers or even channels, right? In fact, I think the start.ng channel will probably be called Gophers because that is what we like. Okay, so that's that for this. Moving on. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to answer the question from Holy. So, Holy, he says that I'm thinking of going into cloud. Seeing Docker and K8 here means Go would be nice to learn, right? Okay, so the answer to this question is, okay, first of all, I don't understand if you are referring to cloud computing or DevOps. If you're referring to cloud computing, okay, maybe, because I know a couple of cloud computing companies, they hire Go developers, so that's your goal, please. Learn Go. That would be nice. And Go is mostly for it does a lot of backend stuff. I mean, it does a lot of server and infrastructure stuff because of the speed and the yeah, mostly because of the speed. So Go would be a good choice if you want to go into cloud computing. So to also teach you some things about the systems level of things. And that is kind of knowledge you need if you want to go into cloud computing or writing infrastructure for cloud computing companies. So if you are talking about DevOps, Go is also a good start for you because it still has a lot of backend things that you have to do. Docker itself is using Golang, so maybe yeah. But if you want to be full DevOps, I would always advise, in my opinion, I think Python and shell scripting will probably suit you more because most of the bash scripting or shell scripting or server scripting out there is mostly done in Python. Python is way more famous on that aspect. So yeah, so maybe if you DevOps, have a look at Python and then Go, and also shell scripting. So yeah, it's a long journey. All right, so you could start with Python. That would work. So like the point I'm trying to make is that it's not like Go is like the holy grail of cloud. No, it's not. Okay, so Python will work. Go is also fine. So I'll advise you um, do the intro courses to both of them here on start.ng. I think there's going to be a Python class tomorrow, yeah, Saturday or Sunday, I think. So do the two classes. Take the one for Go, take the one for Python. The one you prefer, just go with that. Yeah. So I think that's that for this. I hope that's clear. Holly. If it's not clear, please send me a message on Slack and we'll talk more on it. Thank you. All right, back to business. So I think the next thing we'll have on the agenda today is to install. Okay, talk about the Go features. Yeah, the features that make Go a bit different. So Go is statically typed. All right. Um, I'm assuming that everyone here is a beginner, so I don't expect you to understand what this means. All right. It's compiled, which means it does not use an interpreter. If any of these things bothers you, please drop me a message. But before you drop me a message, please do a research first. So if you want to figure out what static typing means, do a research on that. And for those that have experience with other programming languages, things like Python or JavaScript, they don't have any. They don't really have a type systems. So type system means that if you want to define a variable in language, you have to tell the compiler the type of the variable that you are defining. So if it's a number, you must tell the compiler, hey, I want to define an integer, so it knows. So you must do that in a statically typed language. But languages like Python or JavaScript, you don't have to do that. The interpreter will figure it out on its own. Okay, so the static typing compilation, JavaScript is not compiled, it's interpreted. Same thing with Python. So compilation means once after when you are done writing your code, your compiler will run through the code and compile it down to binary, and you can now execute the binary and you see the output of your program. We'll do that. So yeah, we'll do that so you guys will understand better when we get there. So memory safety, garbage collection, structural typing, and the three most important things that I think makes Go a lot different is see the CSP style concurrency. So concurrency is basically doing a lot at the same time. So it's like multitasking, right? It's not parallelism. It's not like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Or like I have four hands and I'm maybe washing plates with one, cleaning the window with one, sweeping the house with one, all at the same time. No, that's not what that's not concurrency is. Concurrency is doing things in sort of in a straight line, all right? So just like this food, this let's say let me take for example this table like this. So let's say you are here and you want to go around and you want to eat all this food at the same time. So you're gonna maybe take one spoon here, move on, take one spoon here, move on, take one spoon here. Like that's concurrently. You're concurrently eating this food at the same time. So it's just like in a programming context is they have what they call switching and clocking that which basically what it does is that your operating system has a bunch of things to do. All right. So what it does is it allocates time for each of these things, concurrently, one after the other. So maybe it's gonna be like in a straight line, like here. So just straight line like this. This is just a very very rough idea of what concurrency means, and hopefully it makes it clear to you. If it doesn't, please research more. Drop me a message if you want to talk more about it too, or hash it out. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into this. So with time, give yourself time. You mustn't understand all these things right now. In fact, a lot of them probably won't be relevant until a couple of months when you eventually need it. But for now, don't let all this big English here bother you. Programmers have a thing of they like to use very very hard words for very simple terminology. So it's most of it's just very simple stuff with big English that makes it seem like it's very difficult. So don't even be afraid of all of these things. Give yourself time, and with practice, you get used to it. All right. So let's move on to sorry. So let's move on to installing a Go on the machine. So we'll start with visiting golang.org. So golang.org is the official website of the Go programming language. So if you come here, you see so many things that some gets almost all the information. I think all the information you need about Go is on here, right? Documentation, packages, the project, the blog, and also a playground. I'll demo that soon. So yeah, to install Go, we'll start with by clicking that link, and it will bring us to this page that and yeah. So here contains the link to the binaries available for you to download. So you see different architectures, Darwin, Linux, FreeBSD, all these are system architectures, and you also see for Windows too, right? So, but let's make use of these ones. So we will use the pre-compiled binaries. So we don't want to compile the binaries ourselves. So we just use these ones already made available for us to download here because it's easy. Why do the hard thing when there are easy ones? Okay, so if you're on a window, obviously I'm on a Mac, so um I wouldn't be able to demo the Windows or the Linux one using the specific operating systems because I don't have my Windows computer crashed yesterday, sadly. Okay, so if it was available, I could have been able to demo the Windows and the Linux version because I have a Linux running on there too. So, but sorry, that won't be possible. So, but I will just show you guys on the pages here. All right. So if you're on Microsoft Windows, click on that link and it will start to download immediately. So it's going to download the Microsoft installer. So this installer is basically let me cancel that since I don't need it. So this will install a Microsoft installer, which will so it will basically provide you with the means to have Go installed in your machine. So once the download is complete, click on the installer and follow the prompts. So you just follow the prompts, read the instructions, and just do whatever it says. And at the end of it, you should have Go fully installed. And there is something important that this would do too. So it will add this to your environment variables. So this is what makes it possible for you to execute Go commands on your command line. So the installer should do this for you on its own. So once it's done, you can open a new CMD and try and execute any Go command. So maybe you can go ahead and run Go version. Okay, let me make this bigger. Yeah, so just run Go version, and yeah, once it prints the version you're using, then you know that your Go is ready to go on your machine. All right, so that's that. In case if something goes wrong, maybe it's not added to your path, you can come here and set the environment variables yourself. All right, if anything really bothers you or confuses you, please send me a message and I'll help you sort it out. Okay, thank you. All right, so moving back to our downloads page. If you're on a Mac, you can install this with brew. I know you can use brew. I think there is something like brew install. I think there's a brew install Go. I think yeah, you can actually brew install this. All right, so easy. So this one might be easier for you, but I would recommend you use this here, okay, because it's a bit easy. And actually had issues when I wanted to update the version of Go that I was using. So don't, you know what, don't bother about that now. You can worry about that later. So but just download the pkg file, and once you're done, click on it and follow the prompts. It will um it will install. You know what, let me Let me actually try doing this right now. All right, so yeah, so let me actually go through it. I won't complete the installation because I already have it installed, but just show you what it might look like if you're on a Mac. Okay, so moving back to the page. For those on Linux, so if you're on Linux, you would once the download is complete, you open your terminal. Make sure you are in the same folder where the binary was downloaded. So once you are in that folder, you go ahead and execute this command. So this command will export the Go binary to this particular folder on your Linux machine. And after that, yeah, typically this command must be run as a root here because most of the time this user local is usually restricted to only the admins. Okay, so once that is done, you go ahead and add this part to your environment variables. Okay, so to do that, if you can't find this on your machine, so you can open this particular folder. So if you want to do that, you can just come here and do, I think, say vi. Let me just copy that. Yeah, so I have it available here. So but should you not have it, I always prefer to use ZSH because I'm using ZSH. I always prefer to come here. As you can see, my Go part is right here in my ZSH file. So whenever I open a new terminal, this gets exported and I can access it from here. All right. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, so this is actually what you add. I think it's the same thing with my me. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So just add that to your ZSH, or if you're using bash rc, you can also add it to your bash rc file. Yeah, like this too. So that is if you're on bash, but I'm not using bash, so as you can see it's empty. That means there's nothing here. Uh sorry. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I think that's it, and the max pkg is complete. So I'm going to open that. Come on, come on. Yeah, so as you can see, it's already installed. So it's not going to, I'm going to close it. There's no need going on with it. So as you can see, there are prompts here, right? So it's going to tell you about it and destination, installation. I think most times I will just suggest you just um, use the defaults. All right, just go ahead with defaults and install it. So you can, so now imagine if you want to update your Go, you just download the most latest one and you just replace it with the new one, and that way it just really makes things easier for you. I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing for other versions of other system architectures. So yeah, I think that's that. All right, so moving on, since I will advise you actually go ahead and pause this video now and try and get the Go binary installed on your computer so that you can follow along when we start writing code, which is what we're going to be doing next. Okay. All right. All right. So we'll start with installing the code editor. I use Visual Studio Code. Um, I would recommend that you use anything you like, anything you feel comfortable with. So if you don't have anything yet, you can start off with Visual Studio Code. It's a code editor that is being built and maintained by Microsoft. So it's really nice. I enjoy using it. And if you don't have it installed, you can download it here and just follow the installer, and you have that installed for you. So if you need a bit more guidance, I think Vincent's C Sharp's introduction video has a bit of this talked about this solution. So maybe you could refer to that if you need more help doing getting this set up. Okay. All right. So So before we start writing Go code, we want to show you this site. So this is Go by example. So this is a site. It's built by Mark Granahan. So it's a very nice place to refer to. Should you have issues understanding how some Go features are used, this guy really did a very good job here. Once in a while, like every day, almost always refers to these guys. Um, this documentation here. It's really well done. So yeah, that's it. Go by example.com. Okay, so another site that I'd like to show you is effective Go. So it's part of the Golangs .org website. All right. So this is I. So there's someone I actually respect in the Go community recommended that this page is a must for every Go programmer because it contains some really important information about Go, from formatting to style guide and comments, documentation, naming your packages and all that stuff. He wrote everything is written here. So there is a lot of opinions about how code should be written or how code should be formatted and how comments should be written and all that stuff. So Go tries to remove all that stress from you by defining the old formatting. So formatting comes with the code itself. You see it, and even you get things like suggestions from the compiler on how to name your packages and your functions. So this page also does a good job to make those things a bit more clearer to you. So yeah, that's it. All right. So let's get to work. So I think I have a Golang. Okay. So let me quickly create a. So start ng. Start ng. So I'm going to say. So let me just say make the GoPro. This is just short form for Go programming language, so I just use GoPro. Alright. So let me open that with VS Code. So once you install VS Code, this command, I think during installation it should ask you whether you want it to be part of your command line function. So this command, what it does, it just opens. It will open um, the folder inside VS Code. So if you're wondering about this, so this is a Migdir, is a Unix or yeah, it's you won't, I don't think you'll see this in Windows, but it's for Unix-like computer. So it just basically creates a directory. That's just what it does. So I created a directory GoPro, and this then I'm going to open it with my VS Visual Studio Code. So let me execute this command, and that should open it for me. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, so this is my uh, code editor. It probably won't look like yours here. So I did a lot of configurations to configure this to my tastes. I moved my Explorer to the right, and including my terminal I moved it to the right because this is where I prefer things to be at. So I like it like this, so configure it myself. So don't be surprised, this is still Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's start with creating a file. So we'll call it main.go. So main.go is actually a very peculiar name. When you execute when you want to run your Go program, the first thing Go will do is to look for this particular file. So if you find this file in your folder, it will just look for the main function, which will define next and execute it. All right. So we'll start with writing package main. Okay. So this, don't worry about this package main for now. So it's just basically telling Go that this is a package and the name of the package is main, which is the main guy we want you to run. So we'll define what we call a function. So to define a function in Go, you just basically say func main. That's all. You have a function. Okay. So we want to print the hello world to the console. So we'll start by importing the FMT package. So the FMT package is Go has a standard library. So the FMT package is one of those libraries that comes with Go. So it just deals with anything with printing things to console and does a couple of other things. But don't worry, with time you'll see one of all these does. I think it also has a documentation. You can check out documentation and see some other nice things that you can do. So I think Go FMT. Let's Go FMT. Yeah. So this is it. So as a programmer, you should start getting used to reading a lot of documentation and logs, and of course Stack Overflow and Co. So this is documentation of the FMT package. So here you will see um, everything. So these are the functions available to you. So you can come here and read through and um, take what you need. Okay. All right. So we want to print to console. So we use the pln function, which is print line. So say hello world, and that's all. Our program is ready to be run. So open our terminal. So this is my command line. All right, don't be this is my command line, so don't get confused. It's just the same thing as your cmd and stuff. So say go run main.go, right? And so what go run will do, it will compile this code and execute it. So to make this a bit more clearer, so let's do it one by one. We'll start by building it. So build will compile this program into a binary, right? So if we run that, now you notice that a new file has been added to my folder. So it's called main. So we can execute that by calling main, and if we call main, there you go, hello world. All right, so this video is already long enough, and fortunately I may not be able to we will not be able to write a guessing game in this video. So but I'm going to make a second video. So the second video is hopefully going to be shorter. So if you're now more interested and want to see me write the game, you can have a look at that video. So I think that's it for now, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video wasn't that horrible, because this is the first time I'm actually recording a video. Yeah, recording my screen and talking on video and stuff, all that stuff. So please feel free to send me a message if not something is not clear to you, and happy coding.